Hello, hello. We're back playing the rest of Tyson's newest update, so we're doing that. After a while, we headed back inside and we started preparing things for dinner. It was a while off until then, but this was a little bit of pushing. It was something that started to making amends for his behavior. Come on, it's not that bad. I dragged Tyson by the hand upstairs and towards the game room, hoping Orlando would be there. Orlando, you here? Yeah, what's up? Orlando's nostrils flared when he saw Tyson, but said nothing. I do love this face. Looking to me instead. Nothing much, just bringing Tyson around. I can see that. I flashed him a smile and waited, and then waiting some more, but eventually I elbowed Tyson in the ribs to get him talking because he wasn't doing it by himself. Fine, okay. Look, I'm sorry, alright? You're sorry, huh? I was being an asshole yesterday, and I didn't have to take it out on you. You really didn't, but I guess that's fine. Don't you have anything else you want to say to him back? What do you mean? Well, given this morning, I think fair is fair. Oh, sorry for this morning, I guess. You can do better than that. Oh. Don't worry about it, I get it. Okay, sure, yeah. Did you two want to play video games or something? We just finished preparing for dinner, so, we have the time. Sorry, but no. Dave and I still have shit to do, but after, though. We do? Ty was already moving, disappearing out the door without me. Guess we do. Sorry, Orlando. Catch you later. I followed him to my bedroom, and he was standing by the bed, holding Dad's license, closing the door behind him. I remained there, watching and waiting for him to speak first. He was a real piece of work, huh? Who? He sighed, turning the license over in his hand before looking at me. Your dad. I wandered closer, and he passed me the license. It was Dad in the photo. The faintest signs of a smile in the photo, despite the typical requirement to keep a straight face. What makes you say that? He sat down on the bed, messing with his hands. I sat down next to him, copying his movements. Guy stuff. I wanted to talk to him about, well, me. Go on. I was originally gonna just talk to him about other stuff, just some advice, right? Not like I was gonna go to my own dad about it. About what? Just where I stood with him, with you, your mom. I felt guilty that, I was just borrowing your family from you and that it wasn't fair. I never saw anything wrong with it. I didn't think there was anything like that going through your head either. So David, he just laughed at me, made us coffee, and we talked it out. Turns out he had similar ideas. He reached out for the license again, and I handed it back. A slight smile crosses his face as he looked down at my dad's face. Wandered off and brought out this folder, I guess. Had a bunch of papers and stuff he'd been collecting from work. Said I wasn't a minor to wouldn't be the same as he had a word for it. But yeah, had things for a restraining order, adoption papers. It was nuts. Wait, adoption? Yeah. His hands were tied to deal with tied and dealing things with my dad the normal way. But because I was over 18, there was still options. He did say that you and I would need to share a bedroom until we could figure something out. I chuckled at the idea, resting my hand on Tyson's shoulder. You'd make the room a mess, but I guess the upside is that we could get bunk beds. You'd still want bunk beds at our age? So long as I get the top bunk. Yeah, fat chance of that happening. I'm the older brother, so I get to pick first. You'd probably make the room a mess, too. Would not. Not that it matters, given you leave your fucking paint and junk everywhere. Hey, I need all that space for art. It helps make It helps make the art happen. Yeah, I feel that. I still haven't cleaned my palette since the last time I painted. It's just all sitting over there by the easel. Like, fuck. It's all good. It's all good. I should probably pick up more blue and yellow. But whatever. Hey, I need all that. Yeah, okay. Bullshit. It helps. Still calling bullshit. Yeah, call out artists on their bullshit. All they ever are is bullshit. I should know. Haven't seen you make something for a while either. You should do that again. I haven't? No, not that I've seen anyway. Well, that should be easy enough. I'll do something when we get back home, or whatever. Can we just go back a couple steps? So all those papers are back at the house? All this time we've actually been brothers? Like, actually? Nah, we didn't go ahead with it. There was other shit going on. I had to talk about the other stuff, then it was time to get ready for work, I guess. Oh. Still went and got a couple things, put it in place, restraining order and whatever. But didn't get around to finishing them after what happened. So, when we get back, I don't know. Probably we'll figure out how to get them going again. At least a couple of them. Wouldn't mind having a restraining order at least. Well, okay, but when you move in properly, I need to teach you how to do art stuff. Who says I want to learn? It's my room, you should know this stuff. I'm sure I could figure it out. Might know how to do it already. Okay, name one art then. The fuck do you mean one art? Just name one. I don't know, the one of the soup? What soup? At the soup store. Oh, you're at soup. Ty grumbled, rubbing his head. Look, art is your thing. You want me to get on your get your car working? Then that's when you should be leaving it to me. Only cars though? What if like a hinge breaks in the kitchen or something? Sure, I think I can do that. Nodding slowly, I rubbed my knees, and he put an arm around my shoulder, yawning. Ty? What? Are we good? Like, actually? Why? I'm just confused is all. Like, finding out about Dad being here, about the adoption papers, I had no idea that any of this shit was happening. Don't see how this is about you and me, though. Well, I didn't know this stuff was happening with Dad. I didn't know that, well, he had stuff he kept from me. Get to the point, Dave. What I mean is, all that stuff you've been keeping from me, too. Like, are we good? There isn't something that you're just hiding from me because it's easier, right? You wanting to know all my secrets now? No, I just... He pulled away and shuffled around to be sitting one leg over the side of the bed, so he was facing me. This past year has been rough for both of us, yeah. It's been more shit for you, but bad stuff happens all the time. Just because I don't go telling you everything doesn't mean we're not good. So yes, we're good? We're good, I think. What makes you so unsure? Just personal stuff. You'd get it. But I don't want to share. Before you go asking, I just don't want to. Oh. Listen to me. We're good. I'm good. You're good. We're all good. At least as much as we can be, right? The way his eyes glinted as he looked at me made me feel funny. I couldn't place what it was typically, but it felt something like what I imagined love would be like. I felt my heart beat harder in my chest the longer we just looked at each other wordlessly. My throat felt dry, and the words that were starting to surface were making me uncomfortable. There was a sigh, a slight tilt in his head as he was looking at me, as if wondering something that had just crossed his mind, sort of suspicion, or maybe a realization he was still working through. Carefully, he reached out and cupped my hand in my neck. Cupped a hand on my neck, then up to my cheek, and finally back to the back of my head. My head was against his chest the moment after, listening to his heartbeat while he hugged me close. This was a safe space. This was my safe space, at least right now. I shook as I thought back to how things had been at the start of the vacation and how they've developed so far. Ty being everyone's enemy, then almost dying, and in turn almost doing something to me I really didn't want. Then learning what that he saw me as his little brother or something like that, and that he missed me before everything happened with Dad. The next intake of breath, I had rattled on its way down, and I clutched Ty close, and I started to cry. I didn't even know why, but it felt right just letting whatever emotion this was vent out. Hey, don't fall asleep. My grip must have loosened, and him speaking snapped me back to reality. I'm not falling asleep. The yawn betrayed me, though, as Ty just tussled the top of my head. Sleep after we've made dinner. He got up and offered a hand out for me to take. He didn't question the crying. He didn't mention anything about what happened, and I assumed that's just what he wanted. Oh, right. Good job. On what? Just letting yourself feel things, I guess. It's what I remember being normal, even if sometimes you were a bit of a brat and a crybaby. I chuckled, wiping my eyes. What, jealous? He tilted his head again as he sized me up, thinking it over. Maybe a little. He wandered downstairs to finish preparing for dinner, knowing full well that eventually people will start getting hungry, even if we still had time to spare. We just spent the time idly tidying and keeping each other company until it was time for dinner. Dinner was, funny enough, ordinary. People sat down, ate, chatted, and it was as if it was just another communal meal during a get-together. With the exception of Oswin and Benson, everyone else was here. But what about Thanatos? Why isn't he at the dinner? What if I want like a little booster seat with little Thanatos? We'll get him like a little bib, and we'll give him like normal silverware so they look comically oversized with him holding them. It'll be adorable. But having seen hide or hair of Oswin since this morning made me worry. Or, if not worry, curious. Plus, I had some words for him after what I'd figured out. Question was, which way should I go to the lab, or would it be better to find Benson and ask to see Oswin? All things considered, if Benson wasn't around, I couldn't rightly ask him anyway, so that made the decision easier. Dave, what are you thinking about? Just wondering where Oswin is, or Benson even. I was wondering what, it's a wonder we haven't seen either of them, unless someone's just forgotten to mention it. A quick look around the table indicates no one has seen him as they collectively shrug or shake their heads in turn. Probably somewhere in the house, right? Not as if they'd go out and leave us to fend for ourselves. That makes sense, yes. Just seems unlikely that we'd miss them. Them is all. I was thinking about going to go check in on is all. See if either of them had figured out a plan for the next couple days, or even if they're hungry. I'm sure they're fine. Benson likely got things covered, given he's the butler, right? I think checking is worth it. It wouldn't harm to ensure they're both okay. I'll go do it now. I've finished eating anyway. You're going alone? Well, yeah, shouldn't be a problem, should it? The house is secure. There hasn't been anyone else lingering around as far as we know, right? Roswell fidgeted on the spot, looking me over. There was something in how he did it that made me feel odd. What's wrong? I don't know. I should go with you, just in case. I frowned, thinking that if Roswell were to come, I'd miss my chance to properly talk to Osmond and by extension, Thanatos, where he be around. It's all right, Roswell, promise. But Dave, it'll be fine. Sal put a hand on Roswell's shoulders, shooting him a look. If anything happens, or if you find something wrong, just yell. We'll come running. I don't think we need to keep together so long as we're just staying in the house. Then Sal shoot me a look at a very serious look, leaving Roswell's shoulder. Don't let it be like the other day when you wander outside without telling anyone where you went. A chill ran down my spine, being made into remember how that went. I promise, no leaving the house, and if anything happens, I'll just yell. Good. The moment he eased up, it seemed to say to everyone else at the table, who had similar thoughts, that not that it did much to calm Roswell, who still seemed to take issue about me going alone. But I just had to make it up to him later. Running out of the dining room, I had to leave the... What? I made to leave the basement, after all. It seemed to be the most direct route to the lab without needing to go all the way upstairs and circle back. After yesterday, I looked at the hidden door, wondering if I should knock or just go wandering down there. But before I knew what I was doing, I had already opened the door, my decision made. How long do we have again? That depends on what you mean. I heard the smugness in his voice as I traveled through the dark to the pale green light of the laboratory, followed by the annoyed grunt from Oswin that followed. You know damn well what I mean, Thanatos. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4. It doesn't matter, and you know it. Why doesn't it matter? Just tell me what I want to know. Until this experiment is over, well, why not get Junior in here and I can tell you both? I froze in my place near the door as Osmond bolted out and nearly ran into me, grabbing me quickly and throwing me inside. What'd I tell you about sneaking around? Don't be so hard on him. He's after answers, just like you. Yeah, actually, a couple things, but yeah. Fine, sit down. He gestured to sit near his desk, and I took it, watching Thanatos parade back and forth along the desk. Where's Benson? He'll be back soon. Just getting Oswin's here a snack. Is it cereal? How much did you overhear? Not a whole lot. Something about many days until something. Also an experiment. Oh, good. You did hear that part. Pay him no mind, Dave. What did you need? I came to check in, plus, I guess a few questions of my own. Like what? Among what this experiment is, what were you doing in the dining room this morning? Answer him. What if I don't want to? I shot Thanatos a confused look, scratching my face. Want? Answer him. Fine, geez, you're no fun. Making a show of stretching out and leaning back against the wall, he looked between Oswin and I before speaking. All right, so to cover that, whatever happened, so to cover what happened this morning, I wanted to go for a walk. Just a walk? Why not? If Oswin and Benson gets to walk around, why can't I? You know damn well why. If you weren't able to stop me in any other iteration, what makes you think you could stop me now? About that, if you remember everything that we've done, then what's the point of doing anything at all? What do you mean? Like, even if you asking that question, you know the answer before I even say it, or what would have happened this morning when Osmond showed up. That's right. Think about it this way. If I know how the conversation is going to go, I can guide it how I want by saying the right things, right? You do not have free will. No, but I do have my orders existing from way back to nearly the first time I woke up. And that's what exactly? Good luck, Dave. Supposedly, he's been commanded to not reveal that. Then just command him to reveal it. Sorry, no can do. Orders, to not tell anyone until the experiment is done. Right, what is the experiment, anyway? Just the idea of the morphic resonance and the vault. Or rather, Thanatos providing that he can do what he was built to do. And the time limit? Well, that depends on you, doesn't it? Meaning, you know that Tyson is the next one at risk. During the full moon, you could always just walk away now and let it happen. There is something worth bringing up here. There is? Consider for a moment that he's orchestrating events to happen in a certain way. Perhaps the vision you saw only comes about because Thanatos somehow manipulated you into causing it to happen. Big claim, but can you prove it? Alas, I cannot. The only thing I have to rationalize is it is the paradox of which events come first. Presumably, something happened, and you could be expediting the same sequence of events by a different means. Well, aren't you a killjoy? You're right. I just had to take steps to pose it as an obstacle. Depends on what Junior does. What Junior there does tell me what my next job is. Well, I know now, so what's the next job? Keeping you alive, assuming you can keep Tyson sane for another night. Deadline is tomorrow night, and you should know now what the trigger is. Right? I turned to Oswin with a frown. Why did you tell Oswin to drive Tyson insane? I did no such thing. His eyes went to Thanatos before returning to me. But he said, all I'm allowed to. We're not done until you tell me how long we have left on the experiment. Surely you know. It's variable. It could end tomorrow night. It could end a week from now. Or just under 2. I've seen the end of the experiment a few different times, so telling you what it could end at any time doesn't help, does it? I could almost hear Oswin grind his teeth. To double check, you came into the dining room this morning to do something, and then did that, knowing you'd knowing you'd be caught, and then left. I do admit, you were keeping somewhat quiet even after we left. Why? Just setting a failsafe up. If I find myself in the timeline with Memphis, I'd rather not have my body damaged. More people that can repair me, the better. But how does Dean figure finding you help? He's an option. Maybe not the best one, but I'll take what I can get. Nothing, not going to trust my repairs to the Lion, who can't put an ECM back together. I scratched my chin, thinking it through. If you need repairs, I may as well do it. I think I have another question. Go on. Are you on our side? Like, this experiment isn't meant to kill us, right? I was hoping you weren't going to ask that question, but here we are. That doesn't sound good. It is meant to. Is it meant to? No. But it's listed as acceptable to archive a result, collateral damage, or whatever. There's no way I have that. I would have sanctioned that. Good thing it's not your experiment then. Anymore then, isn't it? Why this here? I don't know. Then whose is it? You're going to have to find that out yourself. Sorry. I feel like we're wasting our time interrogating him further. I already have a headache. Wasn't Benson meant to come around? You're right, that's a bit worrying. I wonder what's keeping him. He won't be long. Sorry for the delay. I am here now. Benson strode into the room and placed a cup of tea along with what seems to be a slice of cake on the desk next to Thanatos. Thanks, Benny boy. You know that's not for you. You. Abomination. Now, be nice. Oswin, everything alright? I mean, Benson, everything alright? It's unlike you to dawdle. Quite. I had questions to answer the moment I appeared in the dining room. The others informed me that Dave had come looking for the two of us, and a curious young man decided to question me further. You mean Roswell? Indeed. Not that there was any problems with that. Although, I do apologize for not bringing you refreshments either, Dave. It's fine, I think. You're both alive. I got what I needed, and that's basically it, really. Leaving already? Well, it's not like we can get much out of Thanatos, and I don't think you have anything for me either, right? If he decides to drop any pearls of wisdom, I'll be sure to let you know, come the morning. Ah, okay. Good night, then. Sleep well, Junior. I backtracked through the passage and closed the door behind me. Once I emerged into the basement, stretching, I headed upstairs, checked the dining room for the others, if they were still around. Anyone here? Ty looked up at me from the sink, washing the dishes. You're back. Yeah, turns out Oswin was just holed up doing science or whatever. Well, good to know, I guess. I stole a look out the window, and then back to Ty, who was still watching me. Doing dishes? Yeah, we made dinner, so figured I'd clean. Since when were you this tidy? Fine, then you do them. Do them, then. He pulled his hands from the water and started rubbing them over my face to make my fur stick out in weird angles. Hey, I wasn't ready. Then shut up and let me do the dishes. He continued, his tail swaying gently behind him and seeming in a better mood than before. You really did need that nap, huh? Tell me about it. Head's still a little sore, but it's better. You should sleep in my room tonight. What? You know, if your room is so loud and all. Right, yeah. I guess that makes sense, huh? You don't mind swapping? Oh? I hadn't intended for that to come across as swapping, but all things considered, it seems like the better move if only to avoid Thanatos. But given Thanatos' orders, swapping rooms would just make my room into Tyson's, which got us nowhere. No, I mean, you know, together. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine too. The way he just replied sent me for a loop, so casual about it that I wasn't even sure he registered what I offered. Well, just need to get something from my room first, but should be fine. Get what? Just something, don't worry about it. When Tyson finished washing his dishes, I was tagged to dry them. We headed upstairs together. He went to his room and I went to mine, figured that it was time for a shower. The hot water felt nice, especially with the steam clearing my nose of all the dust from the corridor to the lab. Then the added bonus of lightly scented soap on top made me relax. My clothes left on the floor of the bedroom, plus the sound of the shower shouldn't be enough to give away for where I was, but I heard Ty call out all the same. Hey, you in the shower? Yep. It wasn't long before the door opened behind me and in stepped Ty, pushing me out of the water to get himself drenched and then pulling me back under the direct flow of water. You could have waited your turn. Didn't realize. Didn't feel like it. Pass the soap. I'm using it. Wait your turn. You're just scared of dropping it now. Now that I'm here. A little, yeah. His head was... his hands on my side froze when I equipped back, putting him on the back foot. Really? If you wanted to do something, Ty, you could have just done it. You'd have done it by now. This is just getting clean, right? Offering out the soap to him, I rinse off and moved out of the way so he could wash properly. Didn't need me to get your back? Already did it. He turned his back to me and he continued to wash. and I felt odd. We'd seen each other naked before, but with his back to me, almost felt like he was embarrassed, or if this was just like a gym shower. I stepped out to give him his privacy and toweled off, moving to use the blow dryer around the time the water switched off. Just as well as Ty decided to shake rather than towel off, making him need to focus drying on one whole side again. So I felt comfortable putting on clothes. I wasn't about to get dressed while still damp, whatever. Having left Ty with the bathroom to finish drying off, I went to change into my pajamas, even if it was just a pair of loose-fitting shorts, and lay back on the bed to stare at the ceiling. I heard him come out of the bathroom and rustle around for something before wandering over to the bed. You tell the others you were back? No. I'll be back then. Someone else should know that you've not gone missing again. He didn't even bother putting on pants, but I heard him talking to someone nearby. I sat up to see if it was happening just outside the door, but before I could get up to see who it was, he came back. Dean said that he'd let the others know. That's all? Also asked why I was in your room in just my underwear. Told him to fuck off. He came over to the bed and dropped next to me, grumbling. Or I would have liked to. I just said I hadn't been sleeping well, so you were helping with that. Well, at least you didn't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize to Dean now. Orlando was enough. Oh, right. Dean also said that you should make yourself free tomorrow night for a thing. A thing? What thing? Fuck if I know. What he was talking about. I just said I'd let you know, and he wandered off looking happy with himself. Guess I'll find out tomorrow. Guess so, huh? So time for sleep, or? Guess so. You didn't bring anything to play or do, right? That's more Orlando's thing. I might have something we can watch on my phone. Pass. Just sucks we don't have any internet connection to look stuff up. Or to let anyone else know that we're here. Yeah, but it's not forever. We'll get home eventually. Ooh, turning off the lights. That hasn't happened before, has it? He got up and flicked off the lights, throwing us into darkness. Move over. I want to get in bed. Shuffling around so I was under my side of the bed, Ty went around the bed and got into the other, rolling onto his back. Dave? Yeah? Were you serious about bunk beds before? Only kinda. Why? No reason. I just figured you'd want your own bed, and it'd save some space, right? Yeah, I get it. You don't sound happy about that. Guess I'm just thinking in that this sort of thing will just stop at some point. It's not as if sharing a bed is something we do all the time anyway. And if it was, that'd probably not sit well with any boyfriend I had. Also, we'd probably need a much bigger bed. Probably. He rolled onto his side and reached out to me, cupping my face in his hand. I guess I just take stuff like this for granted sometimes. Sharing a bed? Being close to you. Not as if I had any siblings growing up, or even much of anything back home. I'm not going anywhere, Ty. You know that. I know. He pulled me closer to him, keeping eye contact the whole way until he cuddled my head into the crock of his neck, resting his head against mine. I know. We lay there. We lay like that for a while before I heard Ty fall asleep. He must have been exhausted, having fallen asleep so quickly, after God knows how long of not sleeping well. That sound, I was tempted to just fall asleep next to him too, but being asleep meant I could just not actively think about things for a while. It came at the cost of dreaming, but it was at least a nice escape from everything else going wrong in the house. Okay. Oh, caught up. There shouldn't be another update. Grizz updates on like the 15th, right? That's his schedule. So, won't have to worry about this for another month. I can record other things. The world is my oyster. I can start recording things like socially awkward or after class or after years or remember the flowers or every route of of I don't know, like Moriyanatsu, the best game ever made. But yeah, all right. See you around, everyone.